everyone, and welcome to Terribad Tavern. We're back. It's been a long time. We had to take off 2 weeks ago. We had some scheduling complications, but we're back, and I'm so happy to have these incredible people below me here. We have Patty playing Azrael Drisbin. We have Mr. Graven playing Vaza Rorick, and we have the couple of nerds together playing Dorcas and Gildea, respectively. Um, and gosh, I'm always ready for this. Like, I psych myself up. I'm like, I'm ready. We're gonna go. We got it. Let's make it happen. And then I forget everything I want to say. Um, um. So last time, you all. Let's see. Last time you all made it to Telbach. You made it to the capital city of Telbach, where you met some people from the past. You met with some of Dorcas's family and met with Vaz's family. Stayed the night at Vaz's. Had a very nice dinner. Found out about her sick dad. Some relatives were revealed. Uh, and at the very end of it all, Vaza woke up in the middle of the night, in the embrace of her lover, to find the shadowed figure.
My
That
my new bestie, my new friend.
yeah,
Yeah, we love
um,
this guy.
to find the shadowy figure that has revealed itself to you guys a couple different times. I know my audio just got weird. I'm trying to fix myself. Has revealed itself to a couple people now. And that person had said, "I've never been to Telbach." They were sitting in sort of set the scene again. Um, they're sitting in a chair in the far corner of the room, and your dark vision lets your eyes adjust to see them. Again, just mainly a cloud of dark shadows with two bright orange eyes. As they're sitting on the chair and sort of tracing some of the rocks on the wall, uh, they say that I've never been to Telbach before I started this whole journey. But boy, is this juicy. They stand and hold a hand out and they go, don't worry about getting up. You're not decent. And let's be honest, if I wanted to kill you, you never would have woken up anyway. They rest
You're
again.
so polite.
They drag the chair over to the side of the bed and sit down next to you and go, I'm not here to fight you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to scream for help, fine. Honestly, I don't care, but I'm here because I need to appeal to you as a person. And I need someone non-magical to appeal to.
Non-magical. Okay. Well, what are you gonna tell me?
You don't trust me.
No, because
Okay.
so far you just appear, say some words, and then disappear. I mean, I didn't even know your name.
Okay. The eyes in the center of what you see as the head, the glow fades away, and you see two brown, like regular eyes, brown eyes staring back at you. And then the smoke fades, and a young human woman is sitting in the chair across, next to your bed. And the voice changes of this person. And the woman goes, "You don't know this face. It's it's one of my lieutenants. Someone I'd rather keep a secret, but I figure it's kind of hard to talk to a cloud of mist."
Well, yeah, you got that whole kind of spooky thing going on.
Right. And as for my name, you know, I call myself the master, and before that I was the apprentice, but the truth of the matter is I don't really have a name. I've had to come up with it myself because I'm an orphan, kind of discarded at birth, and the apprentice is what I was born into, an apprenticeship. Listen, I need your help, and it's a really big ask.
Mm-hmm.
This power,
I'm just gonna like check behind me to see whether or not Carver's like awake at all.
she is facing away from you, facing the wall, and she
Okay.
is still breathing slowly and sleeping.
Okay.
Um, the woman in front of you raises her hand, and you see this sort of cracking appear that goes up the forearm and up to the hand, and a dark red and black sort of cloud forms in her hand. And she goes, "This power, mayhem, is similar to what your wizard friend harnesses. But you see, he harnesses it in a distilled form. That's how wizards and mages and things get that point. This is pure, similar to how the masters of mayhem who run magical law run things."
So are you a master of mayhem?
She sort of has a grimace on her face as she closes her hand and the cloud disappears, but the cracks remain. And she goes, "Not quite. It's killing me, this power. I can't control it, and I'm having more and more trouble keeping it contained." Uh, she tucks her hand like under her cloak, and she goes, "Have you heard of the Cataclysm?"
No.
It's all right. The Cataclysm was the great event that brought mayhem into the world. The explosion of Maya. Not a lot of people know about it. It's more of a magical history thing. But the explosion of Maya brought magical energy into the world. The Masters of Mayhem harnessed the raw power. Everyone else does what they could. And that I harness that raw power. However, much like Maya, I'm having trouble controlling it. And I'm at
When did you
risk.
start trying to control it?
A long time ago.
How long is long?
Over 100 years.
Over 100 years.
Something like that. I kind of lost track. I'll give you this much. I was a human before this started.
You
And
were?
the human mind isn't supposed to live this long. So it's getting hard to remember the days. None of that part doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to get to. I am at risk of creating a second cataclysm. And it could rightly destroy wherever I am when it happens. And it could send Persalon into a second magical disaster, and the Masters of Mayhem are spread thin, so there's a chance they couldn't stop it. I know you're trying to save Persalon.
Yeah, you keep on trying to destroy the queen. Why did you do that, by the way?
To save Persalon. In my own way. I know you won't agree with that sentence, but in my own way, that's why I did it. But I'm offering you a way to save it in your way too. And I won't do it. You won't be doing this for free. I will repay you. Okay.
The proposition exactly.
She sort of sighs, and you see this sort of dread come over her face, and she goes, I need you to take on my raw mayhem. Only a part of it, not all of it. It won't give you magical inherentness. It's not like you're going to start throwing fireballs left and right.
Oh shit.
It will affect you, I won't lie. It's a lot to ask. Some people have died, some people have gone insane. I'm asking you for a lot, I know. But if I don't get you, I have to find someone else. And I know that what you're working towards means that if I give this to you, you won't use it in the wrong way.
How do I know you're not trying to take me out so that you can get to the rest of my team?
Because if I wanted to kill you, you wouldn't have woke up tonight.
It's a bit morbid, you know, just saying.
I know, but that's the truth. If I wanted to take you out to get to the rest of your team, you would be dead already.
Why choose me?
You have no magical inherentness whatsoever.
So you think it effectively will just remain dormant?
Yes. It won't try. The raw mayhem will not try to collide with the distilled mayhem that's already in you, and it won't fight and destroy you. It will merely remain.
So why should I help you? You've told me how, but why should I? Other than this cataclysm that you think is going to happen. What's in it for me?
I can save your father's life. I know what's ailing him. I know he's old. And I'm not saying I'll give him more years of life. That's not what I'm saying. But I can make him feel like he's 200 again. He won't suffer through his death. One night, he'll just go to bed and not wake up. It won't be hard for him. He'll live, what? He'll, honestly, a dwarf his age with no medical problems, he'll probably live to see you get buried.
He's already lived so long already.
I know.
I've
But
not seen him for years.
wouldn't you like a few more with him?
Not really tempting enough.
I won't make you take on the burden. She stands and moves the chair back to the corner and sort of sighs deeply in the corner and goes, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to not risk
No, I
another
think
person like me.
I think you wanted the opportunity.
An opportunity to not destroy half of Persalon by blowing up in a magical fire?
Well, I mean, you're as all walking around as you can in getting into these places where we all are and seeing us separately. You could just go to a remote place and just, you know, explode over there. Then you wouldn't be hurting anybody.
I'm very limited to what I can do. I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm not even here right now.
So where are you?
I'm where I said I'd wait for you. Where the bone bridge shattered. But I'm projecting myself to you because it's a lot easier to do that than travel a few 100 miles to where you are now.
So how would you pass me this mayhem if you're not physically here?
This version of me is mayhem. It would simply transfer itself to you. And that's not me saying I won't be in your head. It's not like I'm going to be with you all the time. What is talking to you is raw power. That's it. I'm not here. My voice you can hear, but this figure is power. All you're doing is taking it.
So instead of rejuvenating my father, how about you grant me a favor at some point when I need it?
A favor.
Mm-hmm.
So, sort of a surprise favor, something I won't know until it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask that it's within reason?
What would you say is within reason?
As in, if I just promise any favor, you could at one day call upon me and go, hey, stop your whole crusade and everything you're working towards, and I'm sorry, I can't do that. This is bigger than myself. But if one day, I don't know, you find a dying child on the road and you ask me to take care of it, sure. Within reason, as I put it.
Within reason. Yeah, I think I kind of like for you to be in my debt.
I was gonna be in your debt regardless. I was just using your dad as a way to quickly get back out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You would be helping not just me, but everything I'm working towards to save everyone.
And the rest of my guys, they don't get impacted.
No, no. As I said, you're you're taking on a burden similar to how I got my power. I took on a burden. You're simply taking this one on temporarily. By the way, as soon as I feel like I'm ready to hold some more mayhem, I'll come back for it. But I'll still be in your debt even if I take it away.
Okay, deal.
She walks over to the side of the bed and holds out her hand and says, deal.
I'll grasp a hand.
And when you touch her hand, I want you to make a constitution save.
First roll of the night.
8.
Oof. You
Uh-oh.
feel electric shoot through your body. And you go to scream out, but you have no voice when you go to yell. And just as soon as you grab the hand of this woman's figure, she turns back into that shadow again with the glowing orange eyes, and the smoke just sort of dissipates throughout the room, covering the ground in a fog, and you feel fire in your head. And you start sort of blacking out, and for a second you're holding your head in pain, for another you're screaming for help, another you're crawling across the ground, slamming your hand against the door. You don't know. It's hard to remember everything that happens. But a lot has happened as you're suddenly waking up and you're going crazy in this room. And then suddenly you wake with a gasp and you scream. And as you do, the smoke that was on the floor is empty. You're still laying in bed. The person that was in this room is now gone. Kava jumps up from next to you in the bed and grabs you. And she goes, Vasa, it's okay. Was it a bad dream? Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. You stay here. As that way, and I'm gonna run straight to Dorcas and wake him up, and be like,
So when you
I
first off, do you put any clothes on before you rush out?
Nope.
Because okay, cool.
Nope.
Just making sure of that when you grab the door handle to leave your room, your hand aches. And when you look down, the scales that line the inside and outside of your hand. So when you grab a person's hand in a handshake, your hands lock a very specific way.
Yeah.
The hand imprint has discolored every scale it touched. So when you look at your hand, there is another handprint on it.
On my hand. Okay.
Yes. You typically have blue scales. This is red.
Okay.
But you pull the door open and you rush down to the room you know Dorcas is in. You throw the door open and you just start shaking him awake. And Dorcas, you are roused in the middle of the night to a panicking naked Vaza standing over you, trying to wake you up.
So I wake up. I do like a what in the heck? I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like take the blankets off and throw them over her.
No,
Well,
you need no.
I
You
know
need to.
you said that you were gonna get back at me for the whole flirting when we met thing, but I didn't mean like this. Come
No,
on,
no,
man.
no. That's not. No, you need to cut. You need to come to my room now. Because
What?
the dude, and I'm gonna show him my hand. The dude.
What? What did he do?
Well, he owes me a favor now, but he put the red stuff in me, and I have stuff in me.
Can I roll an Arcana check?
Yes.
15.
You look at the hand mark on Vaza's hand, and it would appear that you know symbols of curses and hexes and what it looks like when someone gets one. That's what this looks like. Is like, you know, in your knowledge of studying how curses work, it looks like this is a mark of a curse.
All right. Let's go back. Yes, let's go and you tell me everything that happened.
Along the way, I'm gonna grab Gildea and Asriel.
Okay.
So that we can all, be present. And yeah, no, I haven't put any clothes on, so I'm just gonna like run to each of them in like my little weird panic.
You have the blanket that I've thrown over you.
I have a blanket, but it's more like a cape now. I've kind of got it
Okay,
tied around
cool.
my neck, and I'm kind of just sort of like.
So where do you collect everyone?
I'm gonna collect everyone back at my room.
Okay.
Does Kava put anything on at this point, or are we walking in there and she's also naked?
I feel like
No,
Kava.
she's also naked as well.
I was
Probably under
gonna-
the covers.
Okay.
I would say that you running around and like immediately rushing out the door, even though you said you stay asleep, and then hearing you run up and down the hall trying to get people. She put on like a nightshirt, and when you come in with everyone, she's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Okay, and I relay everything that just happened
All right.
to everyone in the room.
Vaza, I have some questions.
Yeah.
Why aren't you wearing any clothes?
Do we really need to go into that right now?
This is pressing matters.
Okay, I needed to get you guys here, and clothes was not important, but just I'll put something on. So I'm just gonna pull like a shirt over me.
What? Why? Why accept this person's offer?
Because I thought a favor from them would be useful to us, and I thought that you could, while this magic is in me, try and learn something from it or figure it out that might help us determine whether they are friend or foe.
Well, the mark on your hand looks like a curse. That's one thing.
Well, that's not good.
Is it? Oh, remind me, where is this bone bridge at?
So yeah, sort of a understanding of like, you guys were told the sort of riddle you guys were told way back, were explained that the person you are hunting that attempted to kill the queen would be waiting where the bone bridge shattered. When you brought that information to Robert, the representative you guys have dealt with pretty consistently for the Silver Wolves, told you that that was in Demic, which is where the fog wall exists. No one's been able to get in and out consistently, which is part of what brought you guys on this whole journey, because you are trying to get the masses to come back together so they can get rid of the fog wall in Demic. Which is sort of where we are now. Like, you're on your first leg to get to that point.
Is it?
It's a lot of step and step and step and step.
Okay, so we're not okay. So we're not. We can't just go there.
No, so on one hand you're on the other side of the nation, and then, well, on the other side of the nation, Demic is on a different continent, and Demic is currently shrouded by a layer of fog that people have not been able to consistently penetrate.
There's only a couple things I can think of to do with this. I can try and dispel a curse. I know how to do that. I can try and dispel it, or absorb it, or we can leave it.
We could also cut a hand off.
You
we're
don't need
not-
to
we're-
cut
we're
my
not
hand
doing that.
off. That's not necessary. Can Dorcas sense the mayhem in me?
He'd have to make a check for that, I suppose.
An Arcana one.
Yeah, I don't think you have any spells that are like read aura or anything, so.
I mean, I might now. Let me look.
That's true. The whole party down here leveled up after our last session. They're all level 5 now, which is so amazing, but also greatly concerns me.
No, I can't read. I can't read aura. So yeah, I'd have to do another Arcana check.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, you can go ahead and shoot for that.
oh, I bet I did. 21.
Jesus. Yeah. So
Okay.
looking. So an Arcana check, it like, you of course can't get an aura or a sense of, like, the magic someone gives off, I guess, with an Arcana check, right? But you can understand magical entities and things. So when you examine her hand and the handprint that is on it, you notice that, like, it's not that the scales are burnt, it's not that they're decaying, it's not a weathering thing. They are simply, it's almost like they were painted. Like someone put a hand stencil around her hand and painted it that color. You do a little further examination to lift up the scales, and try to see beneath, to see what is happening. And as you do, you see sort of, not really cracks, but lines that run up her forearm from this handprint. Sort of giving you the understanding that whatever this is has fully, it's almost like a growing infection. But it's not, again, it's not decaying anything, it's not burning anything. She doesn't seem like she's in immense pain. But as for what it gives off, I mean, it has the signs of a hex, but you don't know of a spell that does this. A spell that would do something like this would be immense pain. She would be hurting. But it's none of that. So what you could exactly derive from it based off her story, she touched mayhem.
Here's what I want to do. We need to figure out, because they said they're coming back for it eventually, right?
Yeah.
This is power.
Yeah.
And I plan to be able to make better use of it than them by the time they come back for it. this being is immensely powerful, especially if they're claiming to be a master of mayhem.
Almost.
Aye, almost. They have killed a friend before. I have no doubt they would do it again. And I'm not sure I buy. Well, this person's talked to Galdea and to me before. I'm not convinced that they didn't approach us again because of magical talent or because they just didn't think we'd go for it. I don't like it. But maybe this will present an advantage at some point.
They owe me.
They do.
That they do.
There's also this whole business of that they're trying to achieve the same goal as the Queen by murdering the Queen. I wish we knew more about that.
Does mayhem create a link from one person to another?
Not that I know of.
Hmm.
You could cast a spell for that, I mean. But
Okay.
As you're all sort of having this conversation, the gnomish servant that you all met when you first entered comes into the room, and he looks around in his eyes. He sort of, rubs his eyes. He's not wearing his normal uniform. It's sort of like a night gown, and he goes, "Is everything all right? I heard quite the commotion."
Yes, we're all fine here. Fine, yep, nothing wrong.
I see. I wasn't aware you all wanted to stay in the same room. I would have set up the living quarters.
no, we don't. We're just
You're
this is
sure?
a thing we do sometimes.
Yeah,
It's fine.
you could just go make us some brandy and hot milk for everyone. That would be great.
Yes. I will do that. Thank you, Miss Vaza. And he shuffles off into the hallway to get that for you. Kava sort of stands up. She's been sitting on the side of the bed for all of this, and she goes, "Is this just how your lives are now? Being hunted by absolutely insane people, getting cursed left and right?"
I mean, this is the first time well, yeah,
This is-
pretty much.
This is the first. I mean, am I cursed?
Vaza, look at your fucking hand!
I know,
Whoa.
but it's not the
It's
same.
not.
It looks like one, but there's missing characteristics of a curse.
Oh, there's missing characteristics and it looks like one. I'm sorry, I don't know. I've had a few scale problems, growing up as Dragonkin, and I know, Dorcas, you've had a couple scale problems too. Have you ever had a fucking handprint embed itself into your goddamn scales?
Remind me again, between the two of us, who actually knows a bit of magic here?
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Cool. Oh, out of the two of us, who knows magic here? That's absolutely right. But at the same time, out of the two of us, who has more life experience with death-defying circumstances?
Oh, you know what? You might have had that at one point, but I'm not sure you do anymore.
Oh, really? Because you're this big adventurer now that just knows everything.
I never said that.
Well, it's what you're acting like.
That's what I'm acting like? That's what you've always acted like.
Are Gildea and I just like looking back and forth between
Like
the two of
tennis?
us?
Is that how you're doing it? You're just like... You say that to her, she goes, "Okay. That's right. Cover the know-it-all. You know what, Vaza? I very much enjoyed our night together, but I think I'm going to be spending the rest of the night at my own home. If you need me, you can find me in the mines." And as she walks off and picks up her things, she kind of shoves you, Dorcas, to the side. Didn't have to push you out of the way, but does.
Oh, I'm following.
All right. You meet her sort of in the hallway as she's heading for the front door.
Are we out of earshot?
I'd say yeah. You get a little way down the hallway, if that's what you're trying to do.
I'm gonna. She's going outside, right?
She's on her way that way, yeah.
So we're gonna go outside.
Okay. You head out onto the dark street, in the upper section.
Wait.
Uh,
Look.
she stops and sighs and just kind of turns back at you and doesn't say anything, just kind of stares daggers. And waits for.
I was out of line. All right. Do not take this out on her. She didn't do anything. I did. But I found something out that has made me a little more protective of her than I was a few hours ago. Do not question that. I care about her more than you do at this point. Maybe you might surpass me one day, and I hope that you do.
You care about her.
Not in that way.
You know, it was a point in time you said that about me.
I never stopped about you.
Yeah, well, a couple years away from home makes you think about something like that.
What do you want me to do?
She kind of like tosses her stuff on the ground, and she walks up and she like pokes you like really hard in the chest. And she goes, I want you to mean it when you say you care. And I know you're gonna tell me that you mean it. But before you left, you told... You know what you said.
I know what I said.
If you truly give a damn about any of the people standing in that room in there, you better fucking back it up.
I'm gonna tell you something. And I will kill you if you tell anyone else. And I won't hesitate to do it. Vaza and I are blood. She is my sister. My real sister. My entire parentage, my entire family who treated me, you know what they did, might be a lie. So forgive me if my temper is getting the best of me today.
She sort of takes that deep breath and she goes, all right. It's been a long night for all of us.
I'm
still going home. She starts to collect her things off the ground and she goes, I am always here for you, Dorcas, as I always have been. But just remember what I said.
I know.
Don't make them think of you like I did for a really long time. And she walks down the street.
I need to think about what I'm going to do, so go back to
the three. What have the three of you been discussing as those two storm out?
Has the gnome returned?
I would say so, yes. With your brandy and warm milk.
Okay.
Well, this has sure worked up my appetite. Is breakfast anytime soon?
Been an interesting evening.
It's rather early. The cook will arrive in a few hours if you wish to rest a little longer.
Thank you.
He goes, if there's anything you could ever need, I am in the chamber down the hall, and I am happy to help in any way I can.
The brandy and milk is good. Thank you.
Of course, Miss Vassar. I will retire then.
Good night.
Good night. He heads down the hall, and I'll say, it's roughly enough time for Dorcas to be wandering back in.
So, you and Kava.
Yeah.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. How was that?
Pretty good. Pretty good until obviously Mr.
Yeah.
Master turned up.
Yeah. It does put a damper on things, doesn't it?
Kind of, yeah. Dorcas, we've got you some brandy and milk here. You wanna?
Sure. Yeah. Well, no. Last time I imbibed, I did not end well for me.
Oh, but it ended well for us.
How did your little chat go?
That woman is infuriating.
Yeah, I thought she was quite nice,
Oh.
really.
She can be. She's not mad at you. She's mad at me. I have things to make up for with her.
Ah.
Wrongs that I have done. Not intentionally, but done none the same. We need to find this person.
Well, I don't feel any different, despite the fact that I now have this pretty pattern.
I know. It does not matter. I told him that I would kill him for what he did to Alan.
Can you try and do the thing that he does? Like throw the magic?
Hang on, let me. Ah!
Make
Nothing
a.
happens.
Ooh, actually, hold on. Make an Arcana check.
Make an Arcana check.
Make an Arcana check.
13.
When you do that, and you do like that, you feel something try to happen, but nothing actually occurs. Like, you have this weird
Ooh.
energy move through your arms, but nothing actually happens.
Vaza, I would, if you're gonna want to keep doing that, perhaps we should do it while we're not in an enclosed wooden structure.
Oh, yeah.
You're in a stone building.
Everything burns, God.
I mean, I felt something tingly.
Was it a Vaza tingle?
Jesus
No.
Christ. Jesus Christ.
Did your toe tingle, Gildea?
Y'all are ridiculous.
You
No.
you doing your best Robert De Niro there?
Alright. Do you
It's
all...
still late. It's still like in the middle of the night, right?
Yeah, it's late. It's getting to the early morning hours, but it is still late.
All right. Look, I'm still tired. I'm going back to bed.
Yeah, I'm
We can
gonna
discuss this in the morning.
try and sleep.
Alright. Due to the events of the night, you all sleep in. Not terribly much, but
I don't go to bed right away.
okay.
Really?
Yeah. I'm gonna take a look at that book that I've had for quite some time.
Okay.
I'm gonna wander down the hallway and I'm gonna go and sit next to my dad's bed.
All right. He is sleeping. There is a healer in the room, sleeping on a cot in the corner. Someone they keep around in the night. But he is asleep at his bed. I don't know if you wanted to say anything or you're just sitting there with him.
I'm just gonna go sit there and like nod off next to him.
Got you. Dorcas. Now, I don't think I have this note, and I don't know if you will either. The last time you went through it, I gave you a little bit of information that you got from it.
Right.
Did you write that down? Because I think I may have accidentally deleted that one. I know I gave you a few words.
Yeah, but no, I didn't write it down because it wasn't.
Okay. That's fine, because I think I might have forgotten to save the file whenever I did that. So I don't have the words, and I apologize for that. But it's okay. So you're gonna try to read this book.
Yes.
Go ahead and make me your Arcana check.
I never do well when I try and read this fucking book. 12.
Okay. I'm gonna try to call into the mind and remember the words I told you. So you make out the same words as usual. That aura still, when you open the pages, sort of, wanders around the pages. That dark red and black. And the occasional word comes out to you. I remember one. Fractured.
Yeah, that was
Mayhem.
one.
And I think in turn with Mayhem you got Maya.
Yeah.
I'll
write it down this time.
Okay. So Fractured, Mayhem, Maya. We'll say Control and Prophecy.
Okay.
In no particular order. They just sort of show up throughout as you try to flip through the pages.
Is there anything else I can, like... I don't know. No, never mind. That's...
Okay. I mean, if you got an idea for how you could try to glean more from this book, I would,
I'm trying to... Well, I'm not necessarily trying to glean more. I'm trying because... I'm trying to figure out because either it's very powerful or I am. Or both.
Okay.
And I'm trying to disseminate that.
Right. I will say the one time when you tried to read it, it threw you across the room.
Right.
I believe that was the first time you ever tried to read it.
Yeah.
Because you were trying to imbue magic into it, and it threw you.
Right.
But yeah, you just sort of glean the same words. No extra information.
Alright, I close it and I throw it against the wall before I put it back in my pack.
I'm gonna roll my ink blot.
What?
I'm gonna roll my ink blot.
Okay, great.
For those of you who are new here or don't stick around too often, I have an ink blot die. It's the only die I have of this set, and whenever something interesting happens that I don't know how I want it to turn out, I roll that die. Interesting. Okay. You throw this book against the wall. And when you sit down to start, getting yourself back into bed, you happen to glance over and notice a pulsating glow coming from the pages. One you hadn't seen before with the magical aura that already exists in it. And it's almost like you hear a voice every time it brightens. So it does this woo, woo. And it's almost like every time it, woo, it's like you're hearing parts of a conversation.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to it then. Can I understand anything that's being said?
It just from walking up to it and it being closed, it just sounds like, muffled speaking. And it's
Okay.
broken up because you only hear it when the light glows brighter.
I'm going to reach my hand out toward it. I'm not going to touch it, but just see if it reacts to me approaching.
No, it continues to do the same sort of glowing that it's already doing.
I very slowly open it.
Do you open it all the way or just sort of start cracking it open?
Just crack it. Crack it a
So
little bit.
the pulsating light starts to glow brighter and quits pulsating but steadily stays the same brightness. And the speaking is no longer is still muffled but no longer broken up. And it's hard to make out the specific words, but you do hear one main voice speaking. It's not like switching.
Okay. Do I understand what it's saying?
Again, it is muffled. It's hard to understand. With just opening the book a little bit.
Okay, I'll open a little bit more.
You open it a little bit more. About how, so like book being fully closed, about how open do you have it at this point? If you have a like book to.
Like that.
Okay. When you pull it that much, you're starting to hear the voice speak fully, but you feel the book trying to open itself, like it's pushing against your hand. And you hear before I give you like a reaction of like if you're gonna let the book open or close it, you hear a new voice say, "So what are you recommending?" And that's sort of the moment you have to react to either close or open.
Do I have to pick either close it or open it all the way, or can
Yes.
I try and hold it?
It's
Okay,
because
well,
the book is pushing against your hand, so it's either going to open itself or you have to slam it closed. Is what I'm saying, like in this second.
I'll let it open.
All right. The book flies open, and the light engulfs the room, and you are quickly blinded.
Crap.
You are sitting when your eyesight fixes itself. You are sitting in a place that is somewhat familiar to you. It is the outside studying hall. Or hall, I guess isn't the right word. The outside studying theater for the oh shoot. Words. Fake words that I made up. It is the outside studying theater of the Remit School of Magic. And you are sitting in one of the upper areas. If you aren't fully sure how I'm trying to describe this, imagine a old Roman theatron.
Like an amphitheater.
Yes, that's the best way to describe it. As you look around, you're seeing yourself surrounded by magical people who are wearing robes of different assortments that you don't quite recognize. A single person is standing on the stage looking up to all of you. And that last voice of the "So what do you recommend?" Echoes out. The person at the bottom goes, "Look, I know what we're doing here is a long shot, and I get that. But we were the first to take on Maya's power. We have to stop her." A person stands up and goes, "Oh, come on, you and I both know that is not possible." The person at the bottom goes, "Please, control yourself. We know what she's planning, and it needs to end. We've all seen the prophecy." When he says that, many people groan and roll their eyes. And he goes, "Please, I beg of you. The masters need to come together to stop this." And when he says that, you are blinded again and sitting on the floor of the room that you were just in.
Was I able to discern, like, was this something that happened in the past, like, based on what they were wearing?
I would say so, yes.
Okay.
They aren't clothes that you recognize. You recognize the area and the people you don't know. You would assume this is something has happened since they are referencing Maya.
Alright. Okay.
You all sleep through the night, a restless night for some of you, and wake up a little later in the day than expected. You wake to the sound of breakfast going, and Vaza, you wake when your father is taken out of bed to be taken to the table for breakfast. Since you had requested last night that he actually be present at the table, they assumed that you would want him present in the morning as well. You all gather for breakfast, and as you're eating, I'd imagine a rather silent meal filled with yawns and eye scratching. The Vaz's father goes, "So as he's sort of patting himself and cleaning himself up as he's finishing, he goes, I'd imagine you were all headed to the palace today. You had mentioned you're on a mission and need to meet with the lady.
Ah, yes, the palace.
You seem rather intrigued with that.
Oh, I'm very fascinated by palaces and royalty.
And gold.
By a man who dresses to your standard, I'd imagine so. I want to warn you, those of you who haven't been here, my daughter and you, I'm sorry, I don't quite remember your name.
Who's he addressing?
You. He's
me.
yeah. He goes, but I'd imagine the two of you would know how things operate around here, but I don't know the rest of you. The Goldscales. He sort of turns his head and looks around. Even though you are in a stone, you're in a cave essentially that has been hollowed into this house, he sort of instinctively is checking over his shoulders. And he goes, they don't appreciate much of anything. And, well, I have actively spoken out against them, and it's caused me some trouble in the past, so if you, if you're going to, see the Goldscales, tread lightly.
Well, we are emissaries of the Queen, after all.
But not her queen.
They will be soon.
Yeah.
They just need to figure out what they want.
No offense to your, military friend there, but the Emilian alliance can be stubborn. I've seen it firsthand, and the Goldscales don't like being told no.
Well, we have to try.
Suppose you must do what you must. Well, there will be beds here for you. If you need anywhere to stay, of course, you're all welcome here, no matter what. But I think it's time for me to have another healing session. And the healer next to him nods and he goes, I hope to see you all soon. And the healer wheels him back to his room. And you're all now in a point where you do as you will. You're left
Well,
here at the breakfast table.
I think we should eat a quick meal and head to the palace.
Venomous silence.
If that's what everyone thinks, then
You sure you can handle it?
No, I'm not. But what other choice do we have?
Yep.
If you think it'd be better to go without me, and it might be, then by all means, I can find ways to occupy my time.
Do you want to visit your family first?
Not even remotely.
Okay.
I have visited the only family that I care about in this town. And she is not very pleased with me right now. I'll have to think of a way to fix that, but...
If that's the case, are you all deciding to eat your breakfast and head to the palace?
Yep.
Okay. You all,
Yeah.
eat your breakfast. It's very good, very well done. The chef that they hired is, quite crafty. You all pack up, get your things together, and head out into the city. The major city, Volar of Telbach, the capital city of Telbach, I had described last time as very maze-like, very odd, as a massive split in the stone of where the mine starts divides the city in half, and sort of creates this horseshoe pattern as you go up towards the palace and then come back down. You are all already in the upper district, though you notice a significant change when you are heading upward. As you're heading towards the palace, you notice that you know you are already in a very nice, fancy area, but you move into an area as you get closer to the palace that even has better things. The roads are actually, instead of just being worn down and carved into the rock, are actually paved with cobblestone, so that way wagons can cross them easily. The lanterns um, that line the streets seem to be magically lit, not lit by fire. The large palace gate, as you approach past these homes, there have been extensions built out from the cave. There aren't houses just dug in. They're built out so that way they have very regal front um, front entryways. As you get to the palace, where the mountain would sort of come together from where this split happens, there is an entire section of it just walled off. The large palace walls. You see it stretch up and match as it goes up to not quite reach the peak of this section of the mountain, but get as high as it can. The stone polished so it is brighter than the stone of the actual mountain. As you approach, the gates are open for you. But when you get through the front garden and up to the front door, a few guards stand watch. Three, actually. One on each side of the door and one in the center. The large dragonborn man, Silver, is standing in front of all of you. And he goes, "Who stands to meet with the lady?"
Uh,
I'm gonna just say my first name.
He goes, "Do you have a pre-made appointment, or are you coming unannounced?
Unannounced.
And what right do you have to do so?"
We have much to discuss with them.
Ha! Many wish to be in the presence of Our Lady Amica. However, you must have a good reason.
we are here on the business of the Queen of Persalon.
He sort of smirks and he goes, "Which queen?"
I hand him the coin that we have.
He examines the coin closely and he goes, "Very well." He hands it back to you and he goes, "Follow." The doors open, the two other guards open them, and you are greeted with a very long corridor. A very nice carpeted rug lines the entirety of it, and on the walls you see oil paintings of gold-scaled dragonborns all the way down. The paintings vary in how old they are. Some, actually, one of them you see being painted over, almost as if it's being restored in the middle of the hallway, but they dare not take it down. A few of them seem to be weathering away and maybe need restored, with battered frames. As you're being led down this hallway, you stop about halfway down, from a very large door at the end of the corridor, and the guard turns to you all again, and he goes, "When we arrive, I will announce you." "How will I announce you?"
What was our name again?
Emissaries.
Huh?
What was our name again?
That's up to you guys. It's your party name. I didn't come up with one for
Do
you.
we have a party name?
I
I
don't think you
forgot
do.
we had one, I thought.
I don't think you have one. I'm gonna be 100%
I don't-
honest with you.
I don't think we settled on one.
Or are you just asking? Or is he just asking what each of us individually would call?
You all sort of stand there blankly with blank expressions, and he goes, "Will you all be wanting to enter the chamber?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well.
Of course.
Then I will announce you as a group. I will say, here I present your group, led by and whoever will be speaking for you.
Don't look at me. I'm not talking.
I could do it.
You.
No.
I'll do it.
You'll speak, you said?
Yes.
Very well. Then what is your group, and who are you?
My name is Dorcas. What do we?
Porcelain emissary?
You say that, you say what your name is, and he goes, "Oh, I must have misheard you. What was your name again?"
You heard correctly.
His smile sort of drops, and he goes, "I see. A bastard. Very well. Very, very well. Dorcas will be leading who?"
Yeah, what you said.
The Porcelainian emissaries.
I
see. And do you have any official titles I should know about?
We.
I don't know. Do we, Azrael?
Yeah.
No, not at this time.
I'm a wizard of Persalon, if that carries any meaning.
I see. Very well then. He turns and begins ushering you all down the hallway again, and as he walks, he speaks. He goes, "I will go into the center of the corridor, and I will take a knee. I will address all of you, and when I say who you are led by, you will all bow. You do not have to drop to a knee, you will bow at the waist. When I rise, you will also rise. You will not be permitted to speak to the lady directly. She has someone speaking for her, and you will respect all customs of meeting with royalty." He turns to all of you. "Is that clear?"
Aye.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Sure.
Very
I
well.
know many customs.
Good. Then you shouldn't screw this up. He.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as he walks away, I cast a message to Vaza and say, "I hate it here."
I'm gonna reply going, "Want to know what my customs are?"
You know, I think I would actually.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
Oh boy.
And they're worried about me pulling some fuck shit.
Yeah.
We're always worried about you pulling some fuck shit.
Point taken.
You all finally reach the large, ornate door at the end of the hall. As the guard is standing there, he is not he is facing all of you, but not really looking at any of you. He's just sort of, he seems like he's stood guard again. And very briefly, you hear muffled from the other side of the doors and echoing, and he just sort of he closes his eyes and shakes his head. And a few moments pass, and the doors open. You see a large palace throne room. Gold and silver shimmer from the ceilings, and the pillars that hold this room up are carved innately with scenes of dragonborns and dwarves. It seems to be an odd tapestry carved that you would typically see carved into one large wall, but instead have been carved into multiple pillars. As you get closer to the throne, you see that the ones closer to you depict an earlier history. Dragonborns and dwarves shaking hands and trading, and the closer you get to the actual throne, depictions of war and fighting, and eventually a peace treaty, and then separated thrones depicted on each pillar. You are so sort of infatuated by these pillars and the carving of them that as you approach, you realize the very large pool of blood that is sitting in the center of the floor that the guard seems to ignore completely as he kneels down in what is his understood position at the foot of the throne. His cape mops up the blood, and he just takes a knee into it, ignoring its very existence. As he takes the knee, he goes, "My lady, if I may introduce the..." oh shit, I actually forgot the name you wanted to go with. That's my bad. The
Ursulinian emissaries.
Ursulinian emissaries. Thank you. He goes, "May I introduce to your excellency the Ursulinian emissaries, led by the wizard Dorcas." And he sort of looks over his shoulder to all of you after he says that.
Okay, I'm gonna bow.
Yes, we all bow.
Well,
just ensuring
we
that you
can't
all
speak
do.
for all of us.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm ensuring that you
bowing.
all do.
I bow very elegantly.
Got you.
Of course you do.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
bow, but
Pizzazz.
I'm scanning the room as well.
With a passive perception, I will say as you scan the room, you notice that there is a very finely clothed, not armored, but very finely clothed person standing next to a old golden dragonborn who is sitting in the throne. There are two heavily armored guards at the base of the throne steps, a little, not directly in front of you, but a little off to the sides. There's also the occasional guard walking up and down the throne room throughout this room. You also notice that there's this pool of blood and a drag mark that wraps around and goes through a door behind the throne. As you all bow, the guard stands, and the person standing next to the dragonborn on the throne goes, "Thank you. You may be excused." He nods. The guard in front of you nods his head and steps to the side, and the person next to the throne, who is a copper dragon, which is very odd. Most of the dragonborns, you've seen only dragonborns in this building. Most of them silver or, a metallic color. This is the first one sort of regal color in terms of, metallic, since he's copper, not, silver or gold. He goes, "Greetings to you, emissaries, and welcome, Wizard Dorcas." He goes, "Oh, go ahead."
Your welcome has been most courteous. We are here on business of Queen Eleanor.
When you say Queen Eleanor, the older dragonborn sitting in the chair sort of rolls her neck and looks to the side, gazing out of a window in this room. And he goes, "Ah, yes, the Queen Eleanor of the Citadel. What business is it that you have come for?"
We are here to broker an alliance.
"An alliance, you say?"
Yes.
Under what
There is.
terms?
Are you aware of the mounting situation out in the world?
If you mean the ever-growing present threat of the Remit resistance and the Savine that plague our borders, then yes, we are very aware of such.
Is that I'm referring to like the fog? Is that also what they're referring to?
No, they're referring to the war.
The war.
Yes.
So they don't. Okay. Was I at liberty to tell them about that?
I mean, all you really said was you're aware of what's going on out there.
No. I mean, what's really going on?
Oh, what's really going on with the Demic fog wall has been something that's been known about since the war started. So it's safe to assume most people know about it, but you're
But it's
also,
expanding.
huh?
It's expanding. That's the problem.
It's at threat of expanding, I guess. So there's, yeah. I mean, the person you're hunting has kind of threatened to take on, the world and this whole thing. That's
Right.
really, it's getting into semantics of what you assume is actually happening with.
Okay.
The villain you have.
I'll roll with it and just stop me if I'm overstepping.
Okay, you're good.
We are here because there is a threat greater than this war, greater than anything we've ever seen. And we must unite under one banner in order to overcome it.
The lady turns her head to the side that the man is standing on, and he bends down, and you see her jaws sort of go up and down as she says something quietly. And the man stands and he goes, "Under one banner. Which banner would we be required to unite under?"
The rightful queen of Persalon.
Ah, the rightful queen, of course, Mirabelle Donsetti of Malia.
No.
I see.
The queen crowned at the Citadel is the rightful queen of Persalon. It was done to end a war. Look, can we just cut the semantics here and get to what it is you want?
What I want? I want
Well, not what you want.
You say that, and the woman sitting in the chair's face drops to anger. And the person standing next to her goes, "My lady, I'm sure she didn't." And the woman holds her hand up, and she stands now. She is very tall, dragonborn woman, golden scales. She drops a cloak that she had resting over her, wearing a very regal dress. She goes, "I was understood that the wizard spoke for you." And she starts coming down the stairs as she says this. And she goes, "Who are you?"
Vaza.
"What is your surname, Vaza?"
Rordic.
A odd silence falls over this room. And she goes, "Rodic, the lost daughter of that dwarven prick who speaks out against my family. The one
Yes.
who actively has tried to get me dethroned more than once since rising to power, though I have limited his power as much as I can. That, Vaza Rodic." "I see. So then, if that's the case, if that who dares enter my hall, this regal place of my ancestors, tell me, dwarf," and she snaps her fingers, and the two heavily armored knights standing at the sides of this throne sort of grasp their halberds. She goes, "What is keeping me from killing one of the few people who holds any weight in my court? What is stopping me from ridding your whole very cause right here, right now.
Because your opinion is worth more than your mouth speak.
My opinion.
Don't you want to have all of this settled? The war that's currently raging would stop if we all united and went after the fog.
Oh, I see you. You want to stop the fog. You want to unite and end the fog that has plagued the very people who tried to steal my land from my grandfather. Demic. I don't care, they could rot there. They mean nothing to me.
And what if they take all of us with them?
I doubt it. I mean, please, the fog has existed since before the time of my grandfather, and it hasn't even moved.
But it
What if I
has.
told you? What if I told you that someone from Demic, not even someone projecting themselves into a citadel thousands of miles away, attempted an assassination that only a master of mayhem was able to thwart?
I was there, Dorcas. I saw it all occur. You do not
Then
have to
how do you
relive
not-
the accounts to me.
Then how do you account for such power?
Master of Mayhem gone rogue, it wouldn't be the first time. Plenty of books talk about Masters of Mayhem losing themselves.
If a master of mayhem desired to use the fog, what would that do?
They'd have to control it first. I mean, honestly, you're a wizard. You know all of this. The fog is its own thing. It occurred. It happened. It's there. We can't figure it out. We can't penetrate it. Why am I explaining all of this to a peasant?
It is moving. It is getting closer. And it will consume everything it touches, which soon will be all of us. We will all die.
You say
And
it's
there will be
moving.
nothing for you to rule over.
All right. She sort of stops in thought for a moment, and a smile sort of comes across her face briefly. She goes, "Okay, I'll play along. Call me interested in my old age." She walks back up the stairs and sits down on her throne. She goes, "We'll have a little fun with this. Why not? God knows I could use it. I have a task for you. And if you complete it, then I will trust that everything you say is of good conscience, and that you are truly sent and ready to take on the fog. And if that's the case, then I will do as your queen asks for the time being."
Very well. What
If-
is this task?
Oh, well, it's rather simple, depending on who you ask. You've heard of the Whispers, the mental illness that seems to be plaguing my people. You probably saw a few people whispering while you were out there, talking
Aye.
to themselves in the gutter as if they know someone is standing over their shoulder, when in reality they're the only ones sitting. My court wizard believes he knows where it's coming from, and therefore I want to send a team to get rid of it. You wouldn't go far. According to him, it's within the city. So,
And if we do this,
yes,
then we have an agreement. You will join this cause.
if, and granted it is a large if, you are able to stop the Whispers, which I don't count on, but if you do, I will send word to your queen that I am willing to send my greatest wizards to assist in slowing the fog down.
Swear it. Swear it on your throne that you will do this.
I need to swear nothing to you.
Oh, yes, you do. Because I do not trust someone who's going to send off a bunch of people they don't really know to probably a suicide mission.
Yes. I won't lie to you. That's exactly what I'm doing. You think I give a damn about your life?
No, I don't think you do.
I don't.
I don't think you would really send a second thought to double cross us if we actually pull this off.
Oh,
So, swear
see,
it.
that is where you're wrong. A gold scale is always for their word. It's the one thing I have. It's the one thing I've always had since my father founded this damn city. Valar was the name of my forefathers, and if you think for a second that my name means nothing within these halls, you are thinking the wrong thing. I am sending a bastard blue dragon to take care of something I care nothing about. Because I don't care. You will do this. Because it is the only choice you have to do what your fucking queen wants. And if you care at all what your queen wants, you will do as I say, or you can leave this very chamber.
Very well, Your Majesty.
Chamberlain! The guard that led you in comes back. She goes, "Get them the fuck out of my sight." And the guard leads you all out of the chamber.
She was nice.
That went well.
I really, really hate it here.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go kill something now? I really need to.
Where's this wizard?
As you are all let out and ask these questions, the guard goes, "If you go down to the main mines, there is an entrance to an old mine that has long been closed. There was a mining accident. They've never reopened it. That is where the wizard has been doing the primary forms of his work. That is probably where you will find him."
The mines.
Yes, at the very base. He sort of points at the road. He goes, "If you follow the road all the way down, you will go around the crevice and it will take you to the gates. The mines lie just before that."
Alright, let's go do this so that we can leave this wretched place.
Should we ask Kava about what she knows about this mine, seeing as she works there?
I'm sure she'll be there once we arrive.
Alright. You all begin walking your way down through the city of Valar to the mines.
I pull Dorcas aside.
Okay.
My friend, I get that you hate it here. I can see it on your face. I can see it in your actions. However, I don't think this queen would hesitate to have us killed.
No, she would not.
Idea.
Might I suggest a bit more decorum?
You know, Azriel, I think we were mistaken in having me talk with her. Next time it should be you. But you're right.
I agree.
You're right.
Right.
You've dealt with such people before, I take it?
Ah, yes. Royalty and I get along famously.
So what would you have me do then?
Appeal to her wants. Because currently, her wants and what our group's mission are seem opposed. But there might be something that makes her eyes twinkle that we might be able to dangle in front of her. I'm unfamiliar with this area, so that's something that's foreign to me. But as we know, there is always something that drives everyone.
Why?
Do you
You
happen
have
to know
wisdom.
what the Queen wants?
What the Queen wants. The Queen wants for her. She cares about her family first and foremost. She would see them continue their rule to have the same amount of power they've always had. If she could declare this an independent nation, I'm sure she would. She can't. She doesn't have that reach. And we need her not to have that reach right now. Aside from that, the Goldscales have always been fond of wealth, favors, feeling like they're owed something.
Interesting.
Right now, they don't see us as, I mean, especially me, as anything worthwhile. If we can prove otherwise, and that we would owe her something, that might intrigue her.
And maybe that's what we focus on. Our Queen seems very amicable to work out, forgive me for a better term, deals? Maybe the Goldscale Queen may be inclined to, maybe not an independent nation, but maybe a hands-off approach?
Aye. Aye, that is a good point. There's wisdom in your words.
It happens occasionally.
More often than I feel like you would let on.
We'll see.
Thank you, my friend.
I wink and walk on.
As you guys make your way down to the mine, we are going to take a short break before we get into the next part of the game here. Give everybody a chance to stretch, get a drink, get a snack. We've been going for an hour and a half, so I figure it's a good time for people to stand up and go use the bathroom if they need to. Don't go anywhere though. We are not going to be gone long, so just give yourselves a minute. Before we get into the break too, I just want to give a huge thank you. The nerds who are of course below me resubbed. Thank you guys. I also want to give a huge thanks to Zowie who resubbed. Thank you so much for that. Just doing some thank yous. We're not ending this, like I said, we're just going on a break. Also, there's a ton of you in chat, and I feel like it's been a little while since we've had a ton of people in chat, and so I'm really thankful for all you guys being here and hanging out with us. But we will be back very soon after a quick break, and we will get into it some more. So yeah, don't go anywhere. We will be back soon with more adventure. All right, everybody, we are back from the short break. Hope you guys got your drinks, got up and stretched, used the bathroom, whatever you got to do. But we're back. So, you all wander your way down through the city. You, I would say, probably go down a similar way you came up, since you know the path, passing through the shopping district, the trading grounds, things of that nature. Um, Eventually getting down to the main face of the mines. When you arrive there, you noticed that two people that you recognize. I gotta find the other name. I know one of them. I gotta find the other one. Can't find it. There we go. Zeltron and Kava are not having an argument with each other, but rather having an argument with a well-adorned wizard robe-wearing older gentleman. They seem to be having an argument. As you get closer, you hear the older man go, who is also, a lot of the people here are Dragonborn, so, I know I have to I try to specify race with certain characters because there are so many races in D&D, but the majority of people here are Dragonborn. The older Dragonborn man is like, he speaks, he goes, "Look, I know, okay, I get it, but I need to send someone down that way. I get you don't want us to go, that there was a safety hazard, but I truly think my research..." And as he says this, Zeltron steps in, and he goes, "Oh god, I gotta do it, hang on." Because Dorcas' voice and Zeltron's voice are very similar, and I gotta find it. Well, I don't rightly care what you want. My father would rather die than send more men down that way. And you all approach as that sort of bit of conversation ends, and the older man goes, the lady said she would be sending me someone, so just give me a minute, I'm sure they'll arrive soon." And you all approach. Getting kind of a snide eye from Kava as she's sort of sitting in the back end of this conversation with Zeltron sort of leading the argument. My bad.
We're getting side eye from her?
One of you is.
Okay, cool.
Whatever that is.
I'm gonna sidle up and go, "Hi, we're the meat that she's sending."
The seemingly wizard turns to you and goes, "Oh, you're the one that she sent to assist me with my matters."
Yeah, you got us, buddy. How you
got
doing?
no problem with that?
Not at all, actually. He turns back and goes, "See, Zeltron, I told you. The lady has sent me my team. You must open the gate." Zeltron kind of rubs his head and he goes, "Did it really have to be you?" Looking at all of you, really, and he's like, Alright, I'll open the gate. But all of you understand something. This was a part of the mine that fell apart. I don't know what's down there. I really don't. And he is convinced something is... nothing. I mean, yeah, the gate falls apart every now and again. There's some holes in it. But that just happens when you're mining in a cave. Things fall apart. So just, for God's sake, don't get yourself killed. Because at least one of you is my brother. And even though you and I have our differences, but I can't tell Mom and Dad you died because you went into my fucking cave. And I also can't have an entire team die, the first team that we ever fucking send down there.
I mean, we'll give it our best shot.
That we will.
Just if things go sour, just leave.
Don't call you.
No, just leave. We'll close the gate. We'll act like it never happened. We won't have to worry about a single fucking thing. Just if you have problems, leave.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. I don't want to have to write insurance claims. Anyway, allow me to show you. And oh, go ahead.
Before he shows us, can I just go over to Kava and be like, "Can I talk to you for a minute?"
Uh, yeah, I guess. We'll stay in the back, but we'll walk and talk.
Right.
And you'll be in the back of the group as everyone is being led through the mines. To sort of set the stage, it gets darker and darker the deeper you go into this crevice, even though the split follows its way up the mountain. It quickly becomes very dark once once you pass the overhead section. You head down. Most of the mining areas have mine carts and rails and equipment near them, but as you start going down one other path, there becomes less and less equipment in it, and then you of course are in the back preparing to have your conversation.
Look, the Queen made it clear that we're very likely not coming out of this.
The Queen.
The Goldscale.
Lady Goldscale. Okay. Anyway,
You were right. I should have come back. I told you that I would come back a powerful wizard. I would prove all of them wrong. Until they kicked me out of the first school before I was able to graduate.
Dorcas.
So I went to another one.
Dorcas.
What?
You did come back a powerful wizard. I was upset. And, if I'm being entirely honest, for a long time, I had to convince myself you died out there, so I didn't have to believe that you would ever come back and not live up to your expectation. But then you came back with all these friends and this mission. All of my anger came up again because I guess a part of me wanted you to come back a failure like I did all those years ago.
I am a failure, Kava.
You're working for a queen. I very much say that's not a failure.
Kava, I was hired as an entertainer at the Citadel.
And now look at you, an ambassador. So you move up pretty fast, I'd say.
I'm not really sure how that happened. I threw up in her potted plant right outside the palace.
And I'll add that one to the book of Dorcas stories.
I figure you earned it. Look, it wasn't because I didn't care. I didn't want to come back a failure because I was afraid you would look at me like you look at me now. I don't deserve your friendship, but I'm asking for it. Please.
I'll tell you what. She stops and puts her hand on your shoulder and goes, "Come back, and all will be forgiven. But you actually have to come back this time. Okay?"
If I don't,
Don't.
then
You're gonna come back this time.
I.
Then as soon as you do, since you drink now, we can go and have a beer.
You really just want to add to that book of stories, don't you?
Well, of course, I need one I can tell from beginning to end. And she kind of slaps your stomach and follows the rest of the group. After walking for quite some time, this mine runs very deep. The air gets shallower, and occasionally you get a breath of wind from a hole that's been drilled so that way fresh air can come down into the mine. You find a large wooden gate, sort of not in the best of states. It's been damaged, broken apart, a few pieces missing from it. But the general mechanic of it swinging open, worked by a crank, still seems to work. The well, I guess Zeltron works the crank and gets the door to open. You find yourself, I'd say all of you, except for of course Gildea, have dark sight. You don't have too much of an issue seeing here, but through courtesy to you, Gildea, they did bring a torch down, so you can see some, but not too great. You see an empty room. Well, empty to necessity items. This seemed to be the staging area for what used to be a mining area, a mining operation. There are carts and rails and things, stuff too heavy to be just, picked up and walked away with, as well as the occasional leftover pickaxe. But aside from basic mining equipment, this room is an empty one. Multiple paths branch off, going this way and that, and the wizard looks to you all. Alright, so go in, figure out what's in there, come back, either take care of it. In an ideal world, go in, take care of it, come back, tell me everything you know, and I will bring a team in to fully sweep it and clear it. You are mainly to get rid of the major stuff. We will expel the magic, if it still remains, once you're done.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Am I to believe you're not coming with us?
No, I'm not.
And why not?
I am not a field worker. I am more of the logistics and research and understanding. That's why I'm saying you will all go in, you'll take care of whatever lies down there, and then if the magic remains when you are gone, we will know it's clear, and all we have to do is banish the magic.
You're just one of those theory guys, huh?
More. I know the majority of what's gonna happen, so you just have to go and do it.
But what if you did go?
I'd be needed to add
Hands-on
to the palace.
experience.
Make a persuasion check.
Yes.
I hate that you're doing this, but okay, make a persuasion check.
That is a natural fucking 20.
Of fucking course it is! Oh, you rat. I'm so mad about it, but I'm also very proud of you. Fuck. Okay. You say that, and he goes, alright, I'll do this. I will come in, and I will secure rooms after you clear them. Therefore, the deeper you go in, I will follow and ensure that nobody sneaks up on you.
And we'll get it done much faster. You're a smart Dragonborn. Look at
Exactly.
you.
You'll have no reason to backtrack, because I'll be there waiting for you.
Now see, was that so hard?
Yes, actually. Can we move on? I don't like it down here.
Well, if you would like to lead on, it will be much faster.
No, what part of I will be waiting for you when you move on was misunderstood.
Well, you seem to be in a rush.
Don't make me turn around. I can still leave.
You said there were multiple offshoots, so
Yes.
is there like one main one that we're supposed to go, or
So you all enter this mining facility. In front of you, you see 3 paths. So this is a square room, rather large square room, and it has 3 major paths that shoot off in different directions. There is, and of course, as I mentioned, you see no light coming from these directions. On the right-hand wall, there is a path that has mine rails and seems to immediately cut to the left, and then you lose sight of where it is going. In the right-hand corner on the far wall, there is another path that you can see down a little bit as it bends and weaves in a very large, like, it turns back and forth, but it has a very large space, so you can kind of see down it. And then eventually, towards the end, you lose sight due to the darkness. On the left-hand far end of the wall, there is another path that goes in a little bit, cuts left, and then it's hard to see what goes beyond.
Okay.
Welcome to the mining dungeon.
I want to check for any traps in any of these, like, pathways. So, like, not too far down it, but just, like, is there anything that would, like, jump out or come at us if we go through and down?
Make... Okay, so if you're going to check each one individually, go ahead and make me 3 investigation checks. And I will be doing them in order of right to left as I name them. Right. What you got for me?
10, 12, and 7.
Okay, so 10, 12, and 7. The first 2 corridors, you notice no traps in the open area. They are very dusty. The rails that go into them are dusty. No major representation of something is here. Or at least nothing that will trigger. When you get to the last one, same sort of instance. However, this area seems like it's been used recently. There's a minecart outside. Like, in this main chamber, there is a minecart sitting on this rail. But there's not much dust on the rails of the line. So you imagine this cart probably rolled across it recently. But no traps that you notice.
Okay. I relay that to everybody.
Alright.
Makes sense. We would go that direction then.
Aye.
That is the case. Everyone headed that way.
Who's leading?
That's a good
Obviously,
question.
Magic Mike back here is not.
That's so good. I love that joke. What's your marching order? I will say that this path is 10 feet across, so you can go 2 by 2 if you wish. If not, you can go single line down the rail.
I mean, I'll go first.
Yeah, you're the tanky one.
All right. So you're doing single line order? Or you guys, let me know. This is your dungeon.
I wear paper. I'm gonna be in back.
Okay.
I don't care if anyone's walking with me, but I'm
gonna be towards the back because I don't like anyone, just like chilling behind me. And Magic Mike is so I'm gonna be like next to Magic Mike.
Okay.
And I'll just be behind Gildea.
All right. So I'll say single line then, with it being Gildea, Azriel, Dorcas, Vaza, and Vaza will be next to, as you are calling him, Magic Mike, considering
Mike.
there is space for that. So you all make your way down this corridor. As you do, light starts appearing down the tunnel. And when you take your left, there, a little further down, is a right that light is shining from. The slope then drops down, and as you follow it down, you come out into a very large chamber, illuminated by a bonfire sitting in the middle of it. This large chamber, the rail ends, and there is no minecart sitting at the end of it. There is rubble scattered about, and surrounding the large bonfire are makeshift beds made out of hay, occasional hides, like you just threw something together real quick. Pillows made out of rock or moss. Something. Primitive. You also notice that inside of this mining room, all of the walls are bolstered and held up by um, wooden joists, keeping the walls seemingly from caving in on themselves. And every few pillars on these joists, you notice an ordinary wooden door. 6 of them, in fact, surrounding the entirety of this room. On the far end of the room is a large stone door, um, closing off what you would think is another room, maybe a path, whatever, but that is what is at the far end of this room.
So 7 doors total.
7 doors total, 6 wooden ones, a single stone door.
What's behind the doors?
Interesting you ask. Are you
What?
going to attempt? Are you going to go to open one?
No, I'm asking Magic Mike.
Oh, I don't know. I never came down to the mining facility while it was enacted, so if this is one of their rooms, I have no idea what this is for.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
check
well-
the fire and see if I can tell whether or not like logs have been added to it recently.
Yes, you can tell that this fire is being kept going. It is not like close to burning down. It is as if someone was just sitting at it.
I would like to roll perception on just like trying to see if we can tell if there's been any activity going in and out of like one or more of the doors in particular.
Sure, go ahead and roll a perception.
16.
16. There's from what you can tell from the dust that exists in some of the corners and scattered about, this room is actively used, going from the doors to the center.
Can I? The Lady Goldscale mentioned, or somebody mentioned mayhem at one point. Can I roll an Arcana check to see if there's a particular path that could be coming from?
Oh, you're trying to like see if mayhem exists down here and where it could be coming from?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
17.
The stone door at the far end of the room seems to have an odd magical energy about it.
All right. Well, there's magic coming from that door.
Well, that's just what we're down here to find, right?
Theoretically.
Okay.
Magic Mike, what can you tell about the door?
Oh, yeah, sure. You could take a look at it, give it a shot.
What's going with it?
He approaches the door and sort of wipes some dust off of it, and he goes, "Well, for starters, he's speaking loudly so you can hear him as you all are investigating this chamber. He goes, for starters, it doesn't have a door handle. I see no handle, no way to open it, but there is something scrawled across the front. Hang on." And you hear him brushing away dust, and he goes, "Let me see here. Lust, greed, anger, sloth, pride, and gluttony. Show me your vice, and I will reveal myself." Maybe a riddle of some kind?
We've got 7 deadly sins.
Well,
Or all the fun stuff.
-1, actually.
Read them out again.
Lust, greed, anger, sloth, pride, and gluttony. We're missing envy.
I always thought wrath was one of them.
I think people also use anger as wrath.
Aye. Envy is missing.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if we show the door what it is, it'll let us pass.
It just says, "Show me your vice." I can't say specifically. I'm gonna be honest. I gain information. I don't do riddles. I've never seen a door like this. Most doors I see have handles.
Can I roll an Arcana check on this guy?
Of course you can.
Because
What
I
are you
remember you saying something when we first came across this, and you kept saying the word supposed wizards.
Supposed wizards?
That's what you said.
When did I say that?
Like when we, like a couple times when we came down. I could be wrong. That's a 26.
Oh, when you
No,
first saw him,
24.
when
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like
yeah.
the supposed wizard. Well, because you didn't know, you had never been introduced to him. You didn't know what he looked like. So he's
I'm gonna
the
do it anyway.
supposed wizard.
24 for an Arcana check. That's a one shy of a nat 20.
He is so okay. You examine him, trying to just get a read of him, and you notice that on his hand, he is wearing a graduate ring of the Telbach school of magic, as well as you see on his robes, on his lapel, he has a mastery in illusion. There's a pin that identifies that.
Okay. I just wasted probably the best roll I'm gonna have tonight on that, but okay.
You've got your staff.
I do have my staff. That's true.
So the
How
sin.
do we show the door envy?
I don't know. You should be the most practiced at it.
Envy? You think so?
Not that, then greed.
It says show me your vice.
I mean, after last night, guess I better say mine's lust.
Faza, I really don't want to hear about that, okay?
Yeah, well, it's not my fault. The dude came in and I was in the middle and yeah.
Yes, but it is your fault that you came into my room without a stitch of clothing on and then dragged me back to your room to see my best friend, who also was not wearing very much.
Well, it's all fine.
What is actually happening right now?
It's okay. It's all right. We're having a discussion.
It sounds like you're having sex.
Well,
What?
that too, but not right now. Anyway, what's your sin?
No, we are not. We are not.
So that's maybe
I pull out a
No.
coin.
okay.
I pull out a coin and I
Why-
touch the greed door with the coin.
The door that says greed.
Yes,
You touch the door, but
with the coin.
with the coin, and when the coin touches it, nothing seems to happen.
It seems like this door is broken.
You do, however, hear voices from the other side of the greed door. And you cannot make out what they're saying, but there is someone beyond this door.
Am I the only one that hears it, or does the whole party hear it?
You, because you're standing next to it.
Okay. There is someone beyond this door.
Do the wooden doors have handles?
Yes.
Well.
I'm gonna go check the first one on the left.
Okay.
The first door on the left.
Yep,
So-
from the way we came in.
From the way you came in. So, that is going to be... Okay, you approach this door, and it says gluttony.
Oh! I didn't realize the rest of them were also labeled.
Yes. It has a metal plaque on the front that engraved in the plaque says gluttony.
Is there one that's labeled envy?
No, there is not.
I'm gonna try the handle.
We're just going for this, okay.
The door's unlocked, and it pushes open easily.
Okay.
Do you
Gonna-
step inside?
Gilly, what are you doing?
Well,
You
we're not
s-
gonna find anything out just standing here.
You step
Do we
inside the
each-
door. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you.
Do we each take a door, or do we go together?
I'm just gonna hang back and see if she collapses the minute she steps through the door. First of all,
Wise idea. I think I will follow your lead.
You step through the door, and it slowly closes behind you. It does not slam, but it slowly closes. You no
Oh,
longer
well,
find
that's
yourself.
shit out of luck seeing what's going on there then.
You no longer
That's
find
a
yourself
creepy.
in the mine, Gildea.
What?
You are standing in a regal palace room, one you've actually seen before. It's in Malia. It is the palace in Malia. As an officer, you've been here before on, a ceremony. However, when you look down at yourself, you're no longer wearing your large, bulky armor that you've worn before. You are wearing an officer's uniform. But not the same officer's uniform that you know about from your service. A general's uniform. As you step into this room, a long stretch of carpet leads to two chairs. A chair, very regal, is sat in by the Lady of Malia, Lady Dunsetti. Next to it is a not as regal looking chair. Officers and soldiers line the sides of this carpet as they salute you. A person standing next to you that you had not noticed before says, "Arriving, High General Gildea." And you hear something whisper in your ear, "Everything you want and more." Everyone else, the door closes, and the handle vanishes.
Can I put my ear up against it and
You hear nothing inside.
guys?
Did we just
Um
I'm gonna knock on it.
There is no response.
Vaza,
Yeah.
would you like to try and open this door with a little more
Mm. I'm gonna go and kick the door.
Make unarmed attack.
Oh, nat 20!
Okay, go ahead and roll your unarmed damage, I suppose. Just so we're sure about it.
God.
It'll be double whatever you get.
17?
Holy shit.
Alright, so 17 total for your unarmed attack. What the fuck is your unarmed attack? That's a lot. Holy shit.
No, hang on. What is that? Wait, where are we?
So
No,
unarmed
17.
attack,
No, I just did
unarmed strike would be you have a plus 6 to it, so 1d4 plus 6, I believe.
Mine says
Dun,
it's
dun, dun,
supposed to be
dun.
1
No,
plus your
hang on.
strength
Where
modifier.
am I?
I'm sorry, what was
Where's
that?
my 4?
Mine says it's 1 plus your strength modifier. That's what my unarmed strike says.
Okay,
That
so
would
it's
make sense.
7 then? Oh no, it's plus 6 to hit. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah. No, it's plus
You have a
6 to
4.
hit.
You have a 4
So
bludgeoning.
I have a 4,
Yes.
and I
Okay.
got 4.
So you would get 8
8.
because you rolled natural 20. So you kick as hard as you can into this door, and the bottom of it splinters a little, but it does not go in.
Well, she's gone.
She can take care of herself.
You're all having this conversation, and you hear someone pipe up from the other side of the room. This Magic Mike character, you call him. He's standing in front of the door that says Sloth. And he goes, I wonder. And he pushes the door open, steps in, and the same thing happens. The door closes softly, and the handle vanishes.
Damn it.
Oh, right. I really wish he would have said what he wondered before he went through the door.
Should we try and go through one together, or
Dorcas, can you mind communicate with Gildea?
I can try. I'll. Well, here actually, let's. If I use message, I'm probably not able to determine how close she is, am I?
I mean, by your assumption, she's on the other side of the door.
All right, then I will try and send a message, just
Okay.
stating, Gildea, can you hear me?
Make a wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
I need to check something while you do that.
Okay. Oh, that's not good. That's a 7.
It's a what?
It's a 7. It's a 5 plus 2. That's not good.
Very good.
No, it's not.
Sorry, I'm not in the camera. I had to grab a book. So, a 7, huh?
Bring
Yeah.
your face back over here.
You attempt you attempt to send this message. And you hear a voice in your head. And
Okay.
this voice says, "Interesting.
Uh-oh.
I was not expecting someone with such innate ability. No doubt you could solve my little riddle then. Be a good little pet for me and show me your vice so I may show you mine."
There's something talking to me, and it's not her.
Is it?
It's. I don't know, but he seems intrigued. He wants me to show him my vice so that he can show me his.
I don't think that's appropriate.
Well, exactly are you assuming that mine is there, Azrael?
I'm just wondering what his is.
Probably the missing door, if I had to guess.
He has penis envy.
Yes. He said it's a riddle. And the one door said, "Show me your vice," to enter. Perhaps we do all have to go through a door.
But there's not 6 of us.
No. No, there's not. But the door says, "Show me your vice." All right. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. My spell book. I pull my pack out and get my spell book out, and I'm flipping through it to.
Find something?
Yes.
While you
So
do
future
that,
will-
and you're trying to find the thing you're looking for. Gildea,
Yes.
at this time, you have been led to the chair next to the Lady Dunsetti. You are sitting in your, very clean, pristine uniform, and the lady looks to you. "So, my general, I know you've been to the front lines, which I very much believe you are the best capable for this position. So, tell me, what do you think the best option against the Remit military is?"
Um. How did I get here, my lady?
Oh, I know the road is hard and it is a struggle, but don't you worry, it will come to you in time. I know it's very rough, but regardless, you have seen the front lines. Tell me, Do the remnant siege weapons that hold the front line out in their fields hold value, or should we just lay waste to them?
I'm totally blanking right now.
You're good.
Metagame. Is Remit's not the one that we're like.
Remnant is the one you're against. When we did our one shots, this is out of game stuff because none of the audience has seen
Yeah.
that. When we did our one shots, you were in Remit acting as an officer in the front lines.
Okay.
Where that shit went down.
Yeah. Crazy shit. It's been many years since I've seen the Remit lines, my lady.
Well, of course, but you have experience, and the line has not moved in months. I figure you must know the best about their defensive coordination. I mean, you
No.
are one of the greatest generals I've ever had. You've proved it time and time again.
This is what in the world?
I'm sorry, I don't understand your confusion, High General. I feel I've given you everything you deserve. And we'll cut back to Dorcas looking through his spells. What'd you find, my guy?
Not a whole lot. The only thing I can think of. All right, so here's the deal. I might be able to move through one of the doors that the other two went through. Or I might be able to take my own and move back through it should I desire.
What door would you take?
For me? Pride. Well, guess this is what we have to do.
I'm just going to listen to the pride door without touching it just to see if I can hear anything.
You hear some muffled voices as you're trying to listen through the door, but nothing you can make out.
I'll
Okay.
do the same.
You, again, hear muffled voices, but nothing to make out.
I do have one thing I want to do.
Okay.
I want to cast.
Magic missile.
No, I don't want to cast.
I don't care how
I
big the
wanna
room is. I cast Fireball.
I want to cast locate object,
Okay.
and I'm going to cast it on Gildea's shield.
All right.
As long as she's within 1,000 feet of me, I will know it.
Okay. Do you know the direction, or just know that she's within 1,000 feet?
The spell can locate the specific object known to you as long as you have seen it up close, which I have. Spell can locate, so I will know its exact location.
It would appear when you locate the Shield of Return, it lies just beyond the door of Gluttony.
All right.
So all we know is you go in a door, it closes, and we got to deal with something on the other side.
Well, there's one more thing I can do. If we have to get into a fight, I'm wasting spell slots here, but whatever.
Fine. Leveled up.
Right. I'm gonna go over to the gluttony door. So she's right. Theoretically, she's right right beyond.
Yeah, according to the spell you cast, she's on the other side.
Then I'm gonna cast Detect Thought.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Um. So, detect thoughts. For the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures when you cast the spell, and as your action on each of your turns, the spell ends, you can focus your mind on any one creature that you can see within 30 feet of you. Oh, I can't see her. Never mind.
And am I considered a creature?
I think everybody's considered a creature, aren't they?
Oh.
Yeah, it's anything that I don't think creature is a like like
Has
words.
to be a living flesh and blood breathing thing.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? Is the shield... I will know its exact location. So is it seemingly hovering in the air?
No.
It's on the ground?
Yes.
It's
Not
good.
so okay. Its exact location, I'm gonna say it is gonna be different from its exact orientation.
Okay.
It is not hovering above the ground, but it is either touching or very close to the ground.
Okay.
Its
so I
exact
don't know.
orientation is unknown.
I'm trying to determine if, like, okay, if it's on the ground, then maybe she's dead, or if it's just hovering, it means she's holding it like normal.
Right.
Or it's on her back, but I can't tell that. All right.
I'm gonna go through the lust door.
Okay.
As you step through the door of lust, the door slowly closes and the handle disappears to the two remaining outside the room. As you step inside, you are surrounded by beautiful naked women. One of which is Kava, who approaches you and puts her hands around your neck and says, "Where have you been? We've missed you."
We've missed me.
"Of course. Don't you see?" And you look around and they're all Kava.
Oh, God.
She goes, "Come to bed. We've missed you greatly." Cut back to the two of you outside. The door closed and the handle disappeared.
What do you want to do about this?
Well, we're losing people very rapidly,
Aye.
and this is a riddle, so I'm not sure if just going through the doors solves the riddle.
But it could. And what if the fact that not all of us have gone, not have, the fact that some of us have not gone through is the exact thing that isn't solving the riddle?
You have a point.
Both of you make another, well, one of you another. Both of you make wisdom saves.
Crud, alright.
Wisdom save. Ooh,
16.
okay.
16.
5.
Cool.
Shit.
Oh.
So, we'll go with Azriel's first. You hear a voice in your head, Azriel. "My child, what is it that you desire? What is it that burns in your heart, always wanting? I assure you I have a door for it. Show it to me, and I will reveal myself to you." Dorcas. A voice says, "I see you took interest in my door of pride. Perhaps what lies beyond is what your vice is? Show me your vice, and I'll show you mine."
Can I roll for insight?
Sure. What are you trying to do?
I don't know shit. Doesn't matter what I'm trying to do.
What did you get?
4. I rolled a 2.
This voice makes a lot of sense. Why wouldn't you show someone your vice? Maybe now is the time to be vulnerable for someone.
Fuck it. I go for the pride door and I go in. 'Cause, I'm rolling like shit.
You step through the door of pride. The door slowly closes and the handle disappears. You find yourself in a rather interesting room. It's one you don't recognize. But based off looking around, you know what it is because you've heard of it before. It is the room of a Grand Master of a magic school. Room you've never been in. And then you realize you're sitting in a chair. You're at a very large desk. And in front of you is your father and one of your old magical professors. And other people are funneling in. People you recognize from your travels. Students you went to school with, childhood friends. Kava's there, your brothers are there. And they are showering you. Your father. There he is. That's my boy, look at him. The man himself, the greatest wizard, nay, the greatest magic user, a master, if you will, to ever set foot in Persalon. He should be a master of mayhem. Here we are, sitting here, talking about, oh, he's doing such a great job at being, he's in charge of a school. No, he should be in charge of all of magic. Look how great he is. Your brother sits on the side of your desk and he goes, well, come on, tell us. You said you've been on some great adventures, and I know you're the greatest magical hero that's ever existed. Tell us, come on, tell us about how you slay the dragon. Tell us again. I'm sure it's been fantastic. Many years, I know. The teacher who was sitting next to your dad goes, I just want to tell you that I had your back from day one, and I knew it. I knew from the moment I met you that you were going to be the most perfect wizard I ever set my eyes on. You truly are a master of the magical arts. And we see Azrael standing alone in a chamber.
I kind of look around and see that nobody else is here.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk up to the greed door. And I just tap it. And smirk. And walk up to the anger door and walk through it.
You step through the anger door, and the door closes and the handle disappears. This room, I'm going to say this ahead of time. Potential trigger warning for some of you. This room is very different from the others I've described. Of course, you don't know that. There is a single light over the top of the room that is showing the room. A person sits in a chair, hunched over. They seem to be tied to this chair. The person looks up, and you see a face that, if anyone had asked you, you wouldn't recognize. But here and now, you know exactly who he is. It is this world's equivalent of the Godfather. The man who sold you into slavery, the man who made you the thief you are today, and treated you like dirt your whole life. And he looks up at you. His face is somewhat bloodied. His nose is obviously broken. And on a table next to him, you see multiple knives and tools that you've never seen before. And he goes, Azrael, you don't have to do this. Please. I've been like a father to you. What do you do?
As I look at him, I see nothing but rage. Everything is red. And I walk up to him. I say, if you're my father, or like a father, then that is not something I need. As I put my hand on his shoulder, the trickster's blade comes out right into his shoulder.
He screams in pain. It gargles in his throat. You see his arms clench up, but they're tied to the chair as he can't remove himself from it. And we cut to an empty room with a bunch of doors with no handles. I want everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Oh. That's a 9.
19.
22. This is nat
Hang
20.
on. Wisdom. Yeah, 19.
19, 22. What was yours, Gilea?
9.
9. Vaza, you're laying on the bed, surrounded by these beautiful women,
Oh.
and you realize something's wrong. This isn't where you just were. And these people, who are they? And a door appears at the far end of the room. What do you do?
Go to the door.
You push the door open, and you collapse into the chamber you were previously in. You're clothed once again. Your body is in pain, and your head aches. Almost like whatever happened on the other side of that door was happening. But you feel this sense of relief as you look up and you see the stone door crack ever so slightly. Dorcas, you're sitting at this desk surrounded by people telling you how proud and how incredible you are, the accolades you have, but you've never slayed a dragon. And rather, you never graduated school. And the door they're all piling through looks very familiar all of a sudden. What will you do?
I go through the door.
Again, your body aches, and your mind is in shambles as your head pounds. But all of this seemed so real a second ago. You look over and you see Vaza, hands and knees on the ground, panting, and the stone door cracks again.
Vaza, are you alright?
My head feels like rocks.
That is a very good way to describe it.
Have you seen the other two?
Not since... Well, no, I haven't seen them. Apparently Asriel either left or he went through a door, and since one of them is missing a handle, I'm guessing he went through that one. Anger. Interesting.
Gildea, we see you again.
I misspoke. It was 12.
The roll remains as it is.
Okay.
I don't mean you're not gonna I don't mean like, oh, I'm not taking a 12. I just mean the same effect occurs. We see you again in this throne room. Now you're surrounded by advisors, wizards, a few lieutenants. Still, the lady is pressuring you. You know, hi, General. My entire army is at your disposal. You say the word, and it's yours. You could take on the Citadel if you wanted to. I frankly don't care if you feel it is truly the way we need to go. All of it. And I assure you, the moment we take Remit, you will be sitting on that throne as my closest ally. What do you think we should do?
I get up from the chair, and I just walk away from her.
Where do you go?
I guess back down the hallway that I came.
You walk back down the hall, headed towards the main door of this chamber. And you get to that main door. You look over your shoulder, and they're all the advisors are still standing around the throne, and the lady sitting on it, looking to you. Do you open the door you're in front of?
Yeah.
You push this door open, and all the people who were behind you are suddenly in front of you. You're in a war room. Now everyone's sitting around a table, the lady no longer wearing her regal dress, but armor. And she goes, "This attack will be one of the greatest." "Oh, hi General, good, you've arrived. I'm trying to find out where to place our siege weapons. Could you potentially help me with the hillside placement?"
No!
"No? I am your lady. I am telling you to come assist me with the siege of Remnant. Now, come on, we have a lot of work to do."
You discharged me over a year ago.
Discharge you? Why would I discharge you? You've caused some of the best victories we've ever had. I promoted you.
No, you didn't.
You have been a loyal soldier to me from day one. Your record is shining and beautiful. I believe that a high general's position is more than you could ever deserve.
No, you don't. Or if you do, that's because other people covered up what they decided to do about trashing my career.
Cover-ups? Are you trying to suggest that someone in my high council is trying to go against my generals? Your strategy is at it again. I knew it. You'll be accommodated for this. You'll get a medal. We are going to find who did this.
Shut up! You're... No, this is... Duh.
We see those outside the doors who are recovering from the events that they went through.
Oh, you're back to us now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm gonna investigate the cracking.
Okay.
Is there like any light coming from the cracks, or is there like any heat or anything?
So the crack that Dorcas has created and the one you created sort of merged at a single point, and when you look at it, it is deep enough that you do see light beyond this door, shining through the little hole it's created.
Has Magic Mike come back yet?
You do not see him.
All right. I've had enough of this. I'm gonna go over to the gluttony door and I'm gonna cast lightning lure.
What is that? And tell me how it works.
I create a lash of lightning energy that strikes one. Oh, it says creature, so can I not do that to this door? It has to succeed a saving throw, so I probably need something that doesn't have to require a saving throw.
Yeah,
right?
probably something that just inflicts damage.
All right. Okay. Let's go with let's go with Ray of Frost then.
All right. Go ahead and do you have to roll attack or just damage?
I have to roll an attack.
Okay, go ahead and do that.
Oh, right. Good
Vader
lord, why am I
says
getting all these now?
fireball
I got a
at the
nat
door.
20.
Fuck! Alright, go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay.
I think he's doing the opposite of fireball since it's frost.
Right. So I get 2d8s. And I rolled a 9, so double that, 18.
Alright. You blast a ray of frost at this door, and it freezes, and before the tail end of this ray meets the door, it shatters and splinters.
The door does?
The door.
Alright.
Beyond it lies a dark room. Do you step inside?
Yep.
When you step inside this room, you see bodies. People are lining the floors, and some of them more recent than others. There are two people alive in the corner. They are whispering to themselves, cradling their head in their hands as they rock back and forth. They whisper incoherently and you cannot understand them.
Is one of them Gildea?
On the opposite side of the room, you see Gildea doing the same.
So the people have gone through the doors and they haven't faced.
I'm gonna go to her. And I'm going to, once again, I'm going to put, but hoping that proximity will help, I'm going to put my hand against her face and try and cast message.
Okay. Make a will save. Gildea, do the same. Gildea, do yours with advantage.
With advantage?
Yeah, Gildea.
Oh, okay. 19.
Glad you said that. Oh my god.
What'd you get?
What type of roll was that again?
Wisdom?
Wisdom.
Well, that's a 6.
What was your natural?
The first one was a nat 1.
She rolled a 1 and a 2.
Jesus. Dorcas, you send a message with no issue. Gildea, you find yourself in this room, and, they're saying all these things. And as you look around the room, you see Dorcas sitting at the table. What do you say?
How did you get? Did you follow me in here?
Gildea, I don't know what you see, but none of it's real.
Okay.
The door, I broke the door down. There are bodies filling the chamber.
When he says that, Gildea, for a moment, the facade you see in front of you flashes, and you see a dark stone room with bodies. But then you're right back to the war room.
I'm having trouble getting out of this stupid illusion or whatever it is.
All right. We can get you out. Got to be away. So, has anything broken it? Has anything weakened it at any point?
No. Well, you when you told me what was actually here, I could see it for a second.
All right.
So keep talking.
Hi, General. We really
yes.
don't have the time for this. Can we please get back to the meeting?
Shut up, bitch.
There's
Not talking to you anymore.
In the room, there are two other people. They're huddled down on the floor. They're whispering to themselves nonsense, just as you are doing right now.
And what?
That's what your body is doing.
Okay. I don't feel like I am, but okay.
We will cut away for a moment. Now that you all have seen this room, I want you to understand. potential trigger warning for the future that may come. Azrael, you are in your room, and the the Godfather, your dad as he calls himself, screams in pain as you push the trickster's blade into his shoulder. He clenches, and his one side of his body that you put the trickster's blade into is still clenched up while the other side seems to relax. He goes, "Son, please. I only did what was best for you."
I blink, and it's as if time passed,
Mm-hmm.
and where you would normally see Azrael in his fine kept clothing and best upkept appearance, you see his hair just in a mess. You see his clothes covered in blood. And there are multiple cuts across this figure where Azrael, normally with a blade, has that surgical precision. You see almost it's a primal cut. Like there is nothing precise about these cuts. And he's just breathing heavy.
The Godfather is hunched over. He's still tied to the chair, but he's bent over. Snot and tears are dripping down his face as well as the blood. You hear him faintly crying. He goes, "What do I have to do? What do I have to do? Please just stop. Just stop." Make a wisdom save.
That's a 17.
How do you respond to what he says?
I turn away.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the knife in my hand. And I turn back towards him and I throw it into his heart.
When you throw this knife, where you expect to hear the hit, you hear a clatter. You're standing in a room. Stone room like the one before, but this time it's empty. A couple bodies line the walls. These people are dead. You are still unkept, your hair messy, your clothes dirty, but not with blood, with mud and grime. And the door behind you opens. And for a second, you aren't quite sure where you are. But as you step out into the main room, you see the stone door crack. And you remember how you got to where you are. Baza, what have you been doing while Dorcas broke down the door and has been trying to get Gildea back?
I've been going round the other doors, seeing if I can figure out whether or not there's any way to get through them.
So I'll say this. When you go around looking at the other doors ever since leaving yours, they all have handles again. And it seems like you could walk into any one of them if you tried. And as you're testing handles, making sure that they actually open, of course aside from the gluttony door, which has been destroyed, you hear the stone door behind you crack. And when you turn around, you see Azrael, disheveled and messy, standing in the doorway to the anger door, which closes behind him, and the handle reappears.
Well, you look like yours was interesting.
I just look up at her and look down.
I'm gonna point over at the gluttony door and be like, Dorcas is trying to help out Gildea. Magic Mike's not come back yet.
I see.
We need to try and get her out of the thing. It's like it's all an illusion.
Yes. An illusion.
Gildea, make a wisdom save. Since you now have Dorcas in your head fighting for you.
I roll better. 13.
Can I roll an assistance for that?
Sure, go ahead and roll. Roll a d20, and I'll take half of whatever you get and add it to that.
Okay, add 7 to it.
Huh?
Wow.
I rolled a 14, so add 7 to it.
Okay. There's this argument that begins to ensue in this room. Gildea, you're talking with Dorcas, who's sitting at this table and trying to find a plan and a way out. And you tell the Lady Emilia to shut up, and she stands and she goes, I don't understand what your problem is. I have worked tirelessly to give you everything you deserve, everything that I wanted for you, and this is how you reply. And you blink, and Dorcas is knelt down in front of you, holding the sides of your head, speaking to you. And you are in this room where there are dead people, and two along the wall, whispering and rocking back and forth.
It's alright. You're back. You're safe. Come on. Let's get out of here.
Like you said, there were other people here too.
We deal with the one causing this, and I bet they come back.
Okay.
You all hear a crack, and the stone door on the far side of the room crumbles to dust. The way in front of you is open.
Wait, what? But Magic Mike didn't come back.
I'm assuming he's one of the gibbering people, and there's somebody probably that went into the envy door that never came back.
Well, let us see what is doing this, and be done with it.
And as you all head down the path to see what lies beyond, we will end tonight's session there.
God damn it!
Oh my goodness. Perfectly in 3 hours, too. I fucking nailed that shit. Oh man, I want to thank all of you for being here and hanging out with us. It was a rough one today. I had a lot of thoughts going into this one, but it was a rough one today. I want to thank you all for coming out and being here. Once again, I want to give huge thank yous to the nerds who are below me that gave me another resub. I want to thank Zowie for doing the same. Huge thank you for all of you here and hanging out with us. Vager, according to the chat, this was the first time you ever been here. Thank you, so much for coming and spending time with us and hanging out. If you have not, okay, so I'm gonna give this announcement right here right now. I will not be streaming at all next week. I've been saying that all week, but I'm reiterating it here. I will not be streaming all this week. I am trying to put all stuff on YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube, you can find old content as well as every episode of Terribad Tavern. So if you haven't caught up, if you're missing something, if you're like, there are references here that I just don't understand, you can go onto YouTube and you can watch episode 1 through 17, full VOD.
Make sure what YouTube.
I should. I'm sorry. It's not on the thing, but I'm trying right now. I was trying to move the mouse over. Yeah, the guard chicken emote for subs, that is from this show, and so you can go there and see where it comes from. But did it not work for you? I just put it. It might be on cooldown. I think all of my alerts have like a 5-second cooldown. Um, Regardless, you can go there and you can watch all the old stuff. As well as Mystic and Nerds both stream. They stream here on Twitch, and they haven't. Patty used to stream. He doesn't anymore. We try to convince him all the time to start streaming again. But those three down there stream, and they have incredible streams, and they do a lot of really cool stuff. I think, Mystic, are you still working on your Assassin's Creed playthrough?
I am. I've also started a new game called Big Time, so we've got that coming up.
Awesome. Oh
Ooh.
yeah, so you can go to Mystic Raven _ 13 and check out her channel. There's a lot of chaos and a lot of fun. So if you like crazy chaotic streams, it's very cool.
Good stuff.
The nerds do a lot of co-op or single player and just like ride along games. You guys just finished Cat Quest, right? Yeah, they just finished Cat Quest. So if you like, that sort of like, one person plays and the other spectates, or they swap back and forth, or they play co-op games. They do a lot of board game stuff. They've been doing board game stuff on the weekends, and so if you like tabletop, it's a way to play it. That's a place to check it out.
I'm doing Cat Quest 2 right now.
You doing
Yeah,
Quest?
just
I didn't know there was a second one. Oh
Yeah,
man,
and it's co-op.
really? Look at that shit.
Yeah.
So you can go and check out that stuff. So again, thank you all for being here and hanging out with us. At this channel right now, there's gonna be no streams next week, but you can check out, Mystic, Nerds. I don't know if you guys are streaming next week, but
Probably should.
Yeah, we will.
yeah. So you can check out them for streams next week. But yeah, thank you all for being here and going on the Swallow journey. If you need caught up, go to YouTube, and if not, then I will see you all next time, and I hope you guys see them in their streams. Thank you for being here. Safe rolls, everyone, and we will all see you next time here in Terribad Tavern. Bye, everyone.
Bye.